I'd like to call the Tuesday, May 18th, 2021 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday, Mumgard, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Klug, Stubbe, Engberg.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
The current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted at the entry of the event center and when you came into the room. We have two presentations tonight. I'd like to invite Jeff Thompson and Chief Bose up. We have National Public Works Week and National Emergency Services Week, and I've got a proclamation I'd like to present to each of them. So coming up, I'll go ahead and read them. National Public Works Week. Theme is Stronger Together. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Papillion. And whereas these services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other infrastructures and facilities essential for our citizens. Whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens of Papillion to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2021 marks the 61st annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, now therefore I, Mayor David Black, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Papillion, do hereby proclaim the week of May 16th to 22nd as National Public Works Week in the city of Papillion. Urge all citizens to recognize the substantial contributions public works professionals make to protecting our community health, safety, and quality of life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chief Bose, whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. Whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now therefore, I, David Black, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, do hereby proclaim May 16th to 22nd as Emergency Medical Services Week in the city of Papillion, and urge all citizens to join me in recognizing the important contributions that emergency medical service providers make to our daily lives and to improve community health. Thank you very much. Don't have any other presentations. Ms. Powers, Administrator's Report, please.
Thank you. The annual Papillion Race Series kicked off this past Sunday, and thank you to all the volunteers who made it a very successful event, and congrats to all the winners in the various age categories and different races. And just a few quick statistics. There were 438 participants. Nebraska and 10 other states were represented. 29 cities in Nebraska participated, along with 139 Papillion residents. The oldest runner was 77 years old, and the youngest runner was 3. Super cute. And then 2 employees also participated, our city attorney, Alan Thielen, and his wife, Sandy, along with our fire marshal, Steve Thornburg. So congrats to everyone, and a great event, Tracy and her team, and everyone that helped to make that so successful. And the Papillion Days is fast approaching. It's June 17th to the 20th. The pre-sales for the carnival bracelets will be the 1st through the 12th, and you want to help spread that word. That's the only time that they'll be able to purchase bracelets. And there'll be a small kickoff event at City Park, so not the big event at Sumter this year, but there will be live music on the 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. as a kickoff event. And the mayor's dinner is on Friday the 18th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the landing, and you should all be receiving invites next week for that. And don't forget the parade on Saturday from 2 to 4. And there are a lot of fan favorite events are going to occur this year, along with some new events like a rib eating contest. And I think they're working out the details of maybe a fire versus police on that. So make sure you check that out. And then street improvements on the 100 block of East 2nd and North Jefferson will be starting in the next couple of weeks, along with improvements to the alley behind there. And when this work is completed, it will really beautify the area down there in the downtown. So thanks to Jeff and his team for moving that project forward. And then congrats to Deputy City Administrator Phil Green and Assistant City Attorney Carla Heathershaw Risco for graduating from Leadership Sarpy last week. They both had impactful and lasting group leadership activities that will help leave legacies in Sarpy County. And then just a quick final note, there are 3 of you afterwards that will go through the Park and Rec Master Plan. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passed. Next is item F1, Ordinance 1928, an ordinance to amend the 2020-2021 fiscal budget. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1928? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Any discussion? Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F2, Ordinance 1931, an ordinance to reduce the aggregate insurance requirements for firework displays. Motion to approve Ordinance 1931. Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Any discussion? Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F3, Resolution R210085, a resolution to approve the Sarpy County and City's wastewater agency's proposed 2021-2022 budget. So motion to approve Resolution R210085. Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Any proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. There are no public comments. I thought everybody was here for the sewer agency. Item F4, Resolution R210088, a resolution to call $790,000 of Highway Allocation Fund Pledge Refunding Bond Series 2011B. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R210088? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Stubbe. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F5, Resolution R210089, a resolution to approve an amendment to the application for license to sell permissible fireworks at retail submitted by Papillion La Vista South Legion Baseball for the summer 2021 selling season. Motion to approve Resolution R210089. Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F6, Resolution R210090, a resolution to approve an amendment to the application for license to sell permissible fireworks at retail submitted by the Fraternal Order of Eagles for the summer 2021 selling season. Motion to approve Resolution R210090. Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Please vote.
Sunday. Mumgarden. Gaines. Glover. Jaworski. Stubbe. Ingberg. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. And the next one, item F7, Resolution R210092, a resolution to approve the appointment of Christian Whitted as the Chief of Police. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R210092? Motion by everybody. We'll give it to Ingberg. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? I'm going to give a little bit of an overview. So before we vote or before we have any public comments on the appointment, I just want to explain the process a little bit and thank a few people for the time. We had 20 applications for the position. Half of those were from inside Nebraska and the other half came from 8 different states, so it was a wide net was cast. So once the 20 applications came in, the civil service process started. And for those that are not familiar with that, the civil service is a group of appointed individuals appointed by the mayor and affirmed by the council, and they manage the hiring, firing, and discipline of public service personnel, and it tries to keep it out of the political realm. And so we really don't have a lot of role in the civil service process once it starts. So the civil service screened all 20, and of those 20, they invited 8 of those to do a questionnaire that would be scored. And then of the 8, that did the questionnaire, 5 of them then were invited into another series of events. A formal presentation on modern policing, panel interview, and then a roundtable exercise. So 5 of them went through that. And each of those 4 phases, the questionnaire, the presentation, the panel interview, and the roundtable, each of those were scored independently by different groups of people. And then the score was aggregated and helped determine it. The written questions, just to give you an idea of the evaluation, it was by a lot of professional peers. The written questions were evaluated by Chief Deputy Greg London of the Sarpy County Sheriffs and Chief Deputy Wayne Hudson of the Douglas County Sheriff, and then Civil Service Commissioner Carla Rupiper helped manage that process and was involved in it. Then the scenario presentation, again, we had Chief Deputy London and Hudson from Douglas and Sarpy Sheriff, but then we added to that the Deputy Chief Ken Kanger from the Omaha Police Department, Chief Brian Jackson of the Lincoln Police Department, Police Chief and Vice Chancellor Charlotte Evans of the UNO-UNMC Police Department, and then Civil Service Commissioner David McCalman. And then finally, the panel interview and the roundtable was the same group. Again, Chief Deputy London of the Sarpy Sheriffs. It was Sheriff Tom Wheeler of the Douglas County Sheriffs, Chief Joe Lager of the Blair Police Department, Major Brenda Confirst of the State Patrol, and Director Brenda Urbanek of the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center with the Civil Service Commissioner Jim Rattay. So you can see the vast scope of professionals that did the interviews and the scoring for civil service. It's important to note there were no preference points provided for either an internal or a local candidate. There was equal footing on the competition. From that civil service process, Deputy Chief Whitted was ranked number 1 out of that process. And not surprisingly, the last time we went through this process 6 years ago, he was also ranked number 1 by a totally different group. So I think it tells you the type of person we've got here. So Deputy Chief Whitted, along with the number 2 from a neighboring agency and a senior supervisory agent of the FBI, were the 3 candidates then that came to me for my selection after civil service. So then a little bit about my process. Each of those 3 had a full day interview, about 8:30 to 4:30, and it started with a 2-hour panel discussion that involved City Administrator Amber Powers, Papillion La Vista School Superintendent Andy Rickley, Papillion Detective and FOP President Doug Moeller, former Blair Deputy Chief and now Blair Assistant City Administrator Aaron Barrow, and then a community member business owner Lance Beasley. And so that was a 2-hour open discussion with a lot of perspectives being having questions come. And then following that was a long day of a lot of one-on-ones and some discussion. And after the all-day interview, they were then subject to a background investigation by the State Patrol. That involved interviews of their references and then tracking down people they did not give as a reference and interviewing those individuals. It included a home visit and another interview, and then criminal background check, credit checks, and some other things. And then those reports were summarized and given to us for feedback. And in addition to that, just a lot of people talking and getting feedback from a lot of different sources informally. So then after all of that process, started to hone in on, I think it's Deputy Chief Whitted is the one that I thought I was looking at. And so then we had another series of deep discussions, probably 4 hours one day. Very deep discussions on a lot of topics, a lot of philosophical, policing, what's going on nationally, organizational development, a lot of things. And then after that, then we had another discussion with City Administrator Powers and Deputy Administrator Green and myself with Chris, as a follow-up to all of that. And so another series, so pretty intense 3 days at the very end. So with that, I've got real high confidence in putting Chris forward to you. I do want to thank the Civil Service Commission, Ms. Svensson, very professional in the way they ran the process. They gave me 3 very different candidates, and each of them have some unique perspectives and strengths that would have been good for us. And it actually was a tough choice. It was very competitive. Want to thank you guys, the council, for a lot of individual feedback that you gave me on what are we looking for our next chief. That helped a lot. Want to thank FBI Senior Supervisory Agent Greg Benenato and La Vista Captain Kinsey. They didn't make the selection easy, and it was not quick and simple for Chris or the others. I think they're glad that it's over. But again, just to let you know the level of professional scrutiny that Chris received, the State Patrol, the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center, the Lincoln Police Department, the Omaha Police Department, the Blair Police Department, UNO, UNMC Police Department, Douglas County Sheriff, Sarpy County Sheriff, Papillion La Vista School Superintendent, and the Papillion Local FOP were all in the evaluation with open discussion. A little bit about Chris. Been with the department, I think, since 1993 to the present. If you're not aware, he's a small handful of our employees that are also in the reserves. He's in the U.S. Army Reserves as a lieutenant colonel, working nuclear installation security out at STRATCOM. He has top secret clearance. He's a graduate of the FBI National Academy in 2015. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's in justice administration and crime management. So again, it was a tough fight, no preference points on the internal candidate, and with that, I'm proud to present Chris as the next police chief for Papillion. Do we have a motion? I got the motion, I got the second. Any proponents or opponents? Anybody opposed? Not seeing any. Dick Campbell's in the audience. Dick, thank you for years and years and years of civil service. The process I explained, really, you're probably one of them that refined that. And this is probably the first hire in probably 25 or 30 years that the city of Papillion has done that you were not a part of. So appreciate everything that you've done for the city. Any council discussion? Please vote.
Sunday, Mumgarde, Gaines, Glover, Jaworski, Stubbe, Engberg, 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. So now we get to do the official oath of office, and you pin on the badge as well. And if people want to take pictures, don't feel bad about coming up, but you're not interrupting anything. Did you want a copy of it? I need it. I state your name.
Do you want to go back here?
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Nebraska against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely and without mental reservation or for purpose of evasion, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of police chief according to law and to the best of my ability. And I do further swear that I do not advocate nor am a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence, and that during such time as I am in this position, I will not advocate nor become a member of any political party or organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this state by force or violence. So help me God. Chief, would you share a little bit?
Absolutely. Um, my wife probably knows me. That's why she's moving back to sit down. I don't usually have I usually don't have much to say, but no, I'll try to move through these. But this is an amazing honor. Mayor Black, I can't thank you enough for putting your faith and confidence in me. As I told you before, I won't let you down. It's hard to put into words the gratitude that I feel for your trust, and please know that with the men and women I have at my disposal, and the department's in great hands, and I will take care of it like it's my own family. To Phil and Amber, your support has been immeasurable as well, and I look so forward to working with both you. Deputy City Minister Green is going to be that confidant that I need, and of course, City Manager Amber Powers has just been great and is always there if you have a question. And she's been a tremendous leader in the short time, and it's an honor to work for both of you in this capacity officially. So thank you. To the City Council, I've heard from all of you at some point. I've known many of you for a long time, but again, your faith and support of me is again immeasurable and hard for me to put into words. I'll do the very best I can. I look forward to meeting with each one of you at some point here in the next coming month or two. And my door is always open for any questions and anything that you want to talk about. I'm kind of an open book, but again, it's hard to, a lot of emotions running through the mind right now. So very much appreciate your support. To the city staff. I told you today that you're like a family. To be able to work with you in this capacity is amazing. We have a really special group here. Papillion is a special place, and this city is a special place. And of course, the Papillion Police Department is a special place. It's just different. Everything about Papillion is different, but that's what makes it so unique and so special. I came here in 1993, and while this maybe was some goal in the back of my mind, I never knew that it would necessarily come to fruition. I was just happy to be a part of it. So to the staff, thank you, and I look forward to working with you in this new position officially and being a part of that extended family that you are. To my wife and kids, Said it wouldn't do that. My wife is my rock. She takes care of everything, allows me to do what I do. Extremely busy with the military, with coaching, with being a part of this department. But I'm doing what I love. Warren Buffett always said, "Do something that you love," and that's what I've been doing. And I think that's one of the big reasons why I've been successful, because I wake up every day. Sure, there's trials and tribulations, and you have those days where you take a big sigh. But by and large, I enjoy every day coming to work and working with the amazing people that I get to. So, to my son Tristan, who just graduated from college, criminal justice degree, wants to be a conservation officer, game warden. So he's staying in the fold, but he's going to go a little different direction, and I'm okay with that. Of course, my daughter Jordan, she's just finished her sophomore year at Creighton in nursing, so she's moving on to her junior year, and she just was awarded an internship with Children's Hospital, so we're extremely proud of her, and she'll have a job when she graduates. My son Aiden, who's going into high school at Papillion South Titans, next year will be his freshman year, and he's a tremendous gifted student, straight A student. We couldn't be more proud. And of course, my daughter Evelyn. She's going to be a fifth grader after this year. Tremendous little soccer player, great student, great friend. I couldn't be prouder of my children, and again, a big reason for my support. Mom and Dad, Don Whitted and Pat Whitted. Dad was a 30-year veteran of the Omaha Police Department, along with my uncles were also in law enforcement. Many of you might know Dick Whitted, my uncle was the sheriff of Sarpy County back in the 60s and 70s. That's probably where I caught the bug at an early age and knew what I wanted to do. Thank you for your guidance and leadership and support. It's immeasurable, and you help me make who I am. I've got so many family here, so many people. I want to get through this. My aunt and uncle, Lana and Wayne Sinnott, along with my cousin Kyle and his wife Paula, and then my other cousin Karen and her husband Tom. We're actually taking a little trip to Minnesota this in July. We're really looking forward to. But again, they're more like brothers and sisters to me because we were very close. And of course, Aunt Lana was and Uncle Wayne were like another father and mother. So thank you for being here. It means a lot. Of course, my sister, Cindy, her husband, Steve Orsi, who's also a retired veteran with the Omaha Police Department. He's sick, couldn't make it tonight. But of course, my wonderful nieces and nephews, Joey, Isabella, there's Kefa, and Sophie. Again, they're just the best support, and they just continually guide you and great Christians and really understand what importance is. I neglected to introduce him last time, and I was completely ashamed of myself, but that is Chief Portis and his wife Carla. Chief, you started this when you hired an energetic and overzealous kid, I think, back when I was just in my young 20s. Chief Portis was a great mentor. A funny story, Chief, after about a year on, he called me in his office, and I was kind of energetic and like to go out and do a whole lot of traffic stops. And he told me, you can slow down. There'll be more criminals tomorrow. We don't need to arrest them all. And he didn't want me to burn out. And I did take that to heart. I don't know if I slowed down any, but because of that, I realized I couldn't wake up in the afternoon at 2 from working nights and go work out and then look at my watch until it's time to go to work. Because I enjoyed coming to work so much. So in my off days, I needed something to do, so that's why I started coaching football with the high school. So because you told me that, I knew I couldn't just wait around to go to work. So thank you for your guidance, your leadership, and putting me on this department so many years ago. Colonel Steve Novotny. I met Colonel Novotny in Desert Storm. He came into us halfway through our deployment, came off active duty. Steve is the reason why I'm an officer today, who pushed me into OCS. Knew that I had saw something in me, pushed me in that direction after I already hadn't been at NCO for some time. So I appreciate your guidance and your mentorship and your leadership. And I've known Steve for a long, long time now, ever since 1991, I think. So he's always been there, and he's always been somebody I could talk to and trust. Of course, I got my neighbor Jeff Eastep, Mark Fiala, his wife Deanne. They already had a couple master's degrees, but knew I needed mine, so they went ahead and got a third and enrolled with me at Bellevue University back in 2014, 2015 to get our master's degree. So they've been great friends and confidants, and I appreciate you being here. It's an honor to have you. I cannot forget Dick Campbell. I think he's probably hired everybody in this room. Maybe you, maybe not you. You're about the only one, Chief. But I think he was involved in your hire, was he not, Chief Portis? So Dick has been, as you said, Mayor, just an immeasurable piece of Papillion, and really has done an amazing job of helping us hire some of the best and the brightest. To my command staff, I can't do it without you. You guys are great. I look forward to working in this new endeavor with you. And last but proverbially not least, the officers and the men and women of the Papillion Police Department. It's a tremendous honor to be here with you guys and to be working with you and for you. You being here means more than I can put into words, and I want you to know that you're a special group, and you're what makes this department a special department, and I couldn't be more honored and privileged to lead you, to work with you, and just to continue to make the Papillion Police Department a shining beacon of what it means to be empathetic and honest law enforcement officers that truly care about its citizens, aren't afraid to go out and protect and serve, but also do things just a little differently. So thank you, and I look forward to working with you in this new capacity. I don't know if that was over 5 minutes. I apologize. I knew you were talking to me. Again, tremendous opportunity, and again, it's hard to put into words. So thank you so very, very much. It's a pleasure. I look forward to meeting with all of you soon and continuing what we've started to build. And I don't want to forget the other chiefs I work for, Chief Leonard Lewis, Chief Scott Lyons, and of course Chief Engberg. Have all been individuals that helped make me who I am, and I appreciate their guidance and leadership over the years as well. We've started something really special, and we want to continue that. So thank you.
We look forward to the Whitted administration.
Dan couldn't be here. Chief Dan Holdings was the one who started me down this path by promoting me, so I don't want to forget him as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last agenda item. We just have a couple of items, and then we do have a reception. We've got some cake and stuff in the back, so please hang around and take an opportunity to congratulate Chief Whitted. We have no committee reports. Any comments from the floor? We say no, we want cake. Any council comments? We want cake too. Yes, sir. Can you turn your mic on?
Take a second to thank Tony Gowan and the Parks Department and his crew for completing the redevelopment of Terra Hills Park. Got started late last year in the fall. A whole lot of work had to be done there, redevelopment, brand new shelter, brand new play area, and I can tell you that it is being used tremendously, and the people are very happy with it. I'm getting very good words about it, and so thank you, Tony, for all the work you put into it.
And on the note of Tony, if people are not aware, one of the projects he started last year was delayed about 6 or 9 months because of COVID, but there's a new enhancement at Veterans Park. And so if you haven't been out, go check out Veterans Park. And then the Legion will also have a Memorial Day event, 6:30. Is that right, Steve? 6 or 6:30 on Memorial Day at Veterans Park. So I'd encourage you to come out. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Please vote.
Sunday. Yes. Mumgarden. Yes. Gaines. Yes. Glover. Jaworski.
Yes.
Stubbe.
Yes.
Engberg.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned. Enjoy the cake.